What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for December 18th, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the busiest lady in the business, Andrea Renee.
What's good, Greg?
It's your final appearance of 2018.
I know, it's so sad, but also exciting.
Where are you going? What are you doing? What's happening at the Drake household for Christmas this year?
We are staying home here in the Bay Area for Christmas this year, and it's very exciting because generally we have to travel because I have divorced parents and
Sure.
John's family lives in Chicago. So our families are split between 3 different locations across the country.
That's a pain in the butt. Don't like that.
Yeah, it's tough when everybody's split in the same city. It's even harder when you have to fly between states. So this year, John and I have both been on the road quite a bit. John extensively more than I have. And so I asked my mom ever so kindly, would you mind coming to visit us instead so we could stay home? And she said, sure. And so
She's coming to town.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to the Bears game on Sunday because my mom is a surprise Bears fan. I don't know why.
You didn't know that?
I mean, like, no, she has been my whole life. But every time, I watch a football game with her, I'm like, but why? And John is obviously a Bears fan because he's from Chicago. It makes sense.
Am I going to you with that? What happened with that?
Yeah, you're coming. We have tickets for you and Jen.
Yeah, because John texted me, are you in? I was like, yeah, and then I never heard anything else about it, so I wasn't even paying attention.
We got some good seats.
That's like to hear.
Because it turns out, when we bought the tickets, the San Francisco 49ers weren't doing so great.
Yeah. But the Bears.
The Bears.
They're doing pretty good, aren't they?
They're now the NFC, North Division champs.
How's
Clinched
that feel?
it this weekend.
How's that feel?
You know what? I was holding out hope that we might have had a shot if the Bears had lost this last weekend.
Now, Andrew's a Vikings fan, if you don't know.
Yeah, there was a miracle scenario where we could have pulled out a division victory, but it was going to be unlikely. It's been a tough year for the Vikings. I mean, obviously we fired our offensive coordinator.
Oh man, he just went on to greener pastures.
It's just been tough. It's been all over the place. We've had some really exciting wins and some really embarrassing losses.
Gotcha.
And I'm just holding out hope that we can maintain through the end of the year, even though we meet up with the Bears again on New Year's Day.
Sure.
We play the Lions next week, that we can clinch the wild card and just get into the playoffs and then maybe make something happen there. But I mean, there's just better teams this year.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, I think our Super Bowl chances this year are really slim.
Sure. Yeah. I think
we had
so
a
too.
much better shot last year.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
To be sad about it, I guess.
Funny Greg way there. Question. Now, this is not related to video games. Everybody can keep being tuned out. Do you ever think about how sad it is that we won't ever see, we won't ever see like all the numbers line up again in a date? Today's 12/18/18, which is kind of cool. But I remember writing something down on 12/12/12 and being like, oh,
that was cool.
That was cool, and it'll never happen in my
like
lifetime
11, 12,
again.
13.
Nah, that's not as
12,
cool.
13, 14?
I like when all the numbers are the same. You know what I mean? But we're never going to get... the months just keep going. The months are going to keep going up. The years are going to keep going up. It's just the months will reset. The days will reset.
It's true.
The years never resetting for us. We're going to die before we get back to 0-0.
We could get... no, never mind. I was going to say we could get... No, that doesn't... Nope. No, you're right.
I mean, maybe, we all saw Bicentennial Man. Like, eventually we're going to get robot hearts and stuff, and then Robin Williams' Android will have sex with our grandkids.
Yeah,
but that's
maybe.
Weird. Yeah.
If the Earth doesn't die first.
There's a lot of problems. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show, kindafunny.com/KFGD with your questions, comments, concerns, bad PSN names for a little while longer, and everything else under the video game sun. Then tune in to watch us record it live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you'rewrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up, so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping for you today over at kindafunny.com/store. We've launched the fan pack. It comes with a Kinda Funny bag, a Kinda Funny t-shirt, Kinda Funny hat, a Kinda Funny keychain, I think, and then a Kinda Funny water bottle that I like a lot. Real important, if you're going in right now and you go to kindafunny.com/store, it's going to say, hey, this website might be trying to steal your details. We're not. Our certificate expired. We're getting it fixed. You can go to the Rooster Teeth store more directly if you want to go through, not through our little URL. But Cool Greg is not trying to get in to your DMs. Right, Cool Greg?
That'd scare me.
Feds scare him, so no, he's not trying to get in there. We have no holiday schedule, of course, is that we are winding down Kind of Funny Productions here, of course. Start at Friday will be our last day of live programming for the year. Then we come back on January 4th for the big old Kind of Funny anniversary, 4th anniversary stream. We'll be going for 12 hours. I'm not sure if that's been announced. I just announced it. If not, doing a whole bunch of stuff, announcing a whole bunch of things, getting all surprised and everything. If you like that's just the daily shows, though, you won't get next week and the week after. Game Over Greggy Show and the Kind of Funny Games Cast continue unabated. And today, we're brought to you by Loot Crate. But first, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 4 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
I'm heartbroken because if you remember, not at all about the news, if you remember a few weeks ago, I was playing with my Smallville Kryptonian key that I keep on my desk.
Yes.
And I accidentally dropped it on my computer, which then made all the printouts start doing double-sided printouts. And I was like, yeah, and now it's reversed itself. So I got to go back there and throw the key at the computer and make it all work again.
I'm sure there's an actual way we can fix this.
I don't know about that. Number 1. Fresh Prince's Alfonso Ribeiro is suing Epic Games over Fortnite's Carlton dance use. This is from Austen Goslin over at Polygon. Alfonso Ribeiro, and I always thought it was Riviera, so this is very confusing for me, but I'm sticking with it. Alfonso Ribeiro, who starred as Carlton Banks in the 90s sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, is the latest celebrity to sue Epic Games over claims that the company stole his dance and recreated it in Fortnite, according to Mr. Ribeiro's law firm. The dispute comes specifically in regards to the game's dance Fresh emote, which came out in January of 2018. The dance was immediately recognized by the community as the Carlton dance, which Ribeiro made famous. Even the Fresh name is a clear reference to the sitcom itself. But, as was the case with Terrence Ferguson, a rapper also known as 2 Millie, who filed a lawsuit against Epic over his Millie Rock dance earlier this month, the legal ownership over dance moves is often difficult to determine. Any complaint of someone officially stealing a dance move resides mostly on copyright claims. According to TMZ, the actor is in the process of claiming the copyright for the dance. Ribeiro was explicitly named in Ferguson's complaint filing, which was filed by the same law firm, as part of a claim that Epic is, quote, exploiting African-American talent in particular in Fortnite by copying their dance and movements. So far, there's no movement on Ferguson's lawsuit. When reaching out to Epic about the Ferguson lawsuit, the company told Polygon that it does not comment on ongoing litigation. Then breaking news this morning from TMZ.com. Backpack Kid, who made the floss famous, is now also suing. Andrea, what is going on and what's going to happen?
Do you want to look at the next page?
Oh, that's right. Love from Montreal writes in to kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, angry Greg voice. How dares Fortnite do my boy Carlton like this? I understand the S and dares a question mark, but no big deal. Good day, Greg and Andrea. Recently, the story around Epic and Fortnite has been nothing but positive. Yet, we just learned that they are being sued by Alfonso Ribeiro over their blatant use of the Carlton dance. They even called it the Fresh for Smurf's sake. Of course, artists have been complaining about Fortnite stealing their moves for a while now, so here's my question. Why is Epic being so nice to game developers, retroactively giving people money, offering great publishing deals, but treating the artists whose moves/choreography they are using to make money like they don't exist?
It's certainly concerning, to say the least. I don't know if there's going to be a legal outcome that's going to be satisfactory, however.
Yeah.
The best case scenario here is that Epic wants to do the right thing and then they'll settle out of court before this actually would progress to something more litigious. It's disappointing, but also I have to ask, why only target Fortnite just because they're the ones with the most amount of money? Because as soon as I saw that the Carlton dance was the latest in the line of emotes that was being targeted, I immediately thought, well, this emote already exists in Destiny. I bought this emote a long time ago.
Jeff Grubb yesterday tweeted out Fortnite's Carlton dance, and I forget what video game it was, but it's a video game that's older than all of the references we're using right now of somebody doing the Carlton dance.
So clearly this is just a cash grab because Fortnite's on top right now. They're making tons of money and people want their piece of the pie, and that's always the way this stuff shakes out. It's the same when we see people like Lindsay Lohan suing Rockstar Games over her image and likeness being used,
which looked way more like iJustine. Because they kept referencing the cover. I'm like, the cover doesn't look like Lindsay Lohan. It looks like iJustine.
So it's do I want to see choreographers and people who have a creative say in these dances get what's coming to them? Of course I do. Do I think they're going to? No. When it comes to like the court of law, some of this stuff is really clear cut. If they didn't own the copyright ahead of the publishing by Epic Games, like what leg do you have to stand on?
Ribeiro doing it now is going to be a bridge too late, right? Like you get the copyright after the fact, that doesn't protect you now. Future use, sure, but I think it would also grandfather in everything that's been using it since before.
And that's, I think, the bigger point that I'm trying to make here is like, why are you just going after one when clearly this has been used in several games before?
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying go after all those other games, but I mean, I guess if you want to double
you're
down on it.
You're 100% right? It's just because this is the biggest game going. And there's so many things about how much money Epic's making off of this and how much Fortnite's bringing in. I think that's the reason being. And that'll be what's interesting is if somebody, of any of the people who have been listed here, and TMZ's article about Backpack Kid getting involved today brought up the original thing of like, when Backpack Kid was approached about this in June or whatever, he was like, oh, that's cool. I just hope it gets to more people that way. You know what I mean? Or like, it brings more views to my videos kind of thing. He wasn't mad about it. Now, granted, he's a kid, and you can let I'm not going to hold him to that as being like the end all be all.
I'm sure a greedy adult in his life was like, yo, kid, you just like lost millions of dollars, and now there's a lawyer involved that sees their opportunity to make some money off of the situation.
What'll be interesting about it is if anybody is going to clamp down in like, I'm not fighting this for the money. I'm fighting this for copyright, dance moves, basically what the lawyer are saying in the statement, right? Of like, no, this is a problem that's gone on long before this. We need to put an end to it, yada, yada, yada. Is that the true intention behind it? Because if so, and it actually goes to court and it becomes a legal precedent, then okay, we've changed it, and going forward, the way video games and intellectual property integrate popular dance, it will be a new thing, a different thing.
Right.
Whereas like, well, no, if it's just like Epic's going to settle out of court with everybody, be like, how much money just to get you to shut up and not make a big deal about this anymore is it going to be?
Right, and I think that behooves Epic to make that settlement and not have that legal precedent set because, as you so, accurately acknowledged, that's really what's at stake here. But
I think I'm with you that I think there's going to be no movements on the lawsuits. Eventually, it'll probably Epic will just cut them checks and be like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Epic has a lot of money to fight this indefinitely.
Sure.
And not to say that, these people coming forward don't have funds to do so, but they probably don't have as much as Epic. Just a wild guess.
Yeah. Zach calls out in the You're Wrong section that both Ribeiro and Millie filed lawsuits against NBA as well for 2K Sports stuff. Or I'm sorry, 2K. They filed against 2K Sports for NBA, 2K, whatever. The dance moves being in there.
Still in Destiny, though.
Exactly. And and
the
then also in
dance.
Not You're Wrong, Zyger says Tracer from Overwatch also has a Carlton dance emote, so it's everywhere. You're all going down. I'm sorry to hear it. Number 2, the Dreams beta is launching tomorrow. This is the write-up from Jonathan Dornbush at IGN.com. After teasing the announcement yesterday, the Dreams creator beta will launch on Wednesday, December 19th. Media Molecule announced in a live stream today. The beta, which will not support the full game's PSVR functionality, runs through January 21st, and anyone who has been following Media Molecule's newsletter should receive an invitation to it. The general public will not be able to sign up for the beta until after the new year, and invitations for the public will begin to roll out the week of January 8th. The beta does come with some caveats. Those jumping into the creator beta will be asked to sign a confidentiality agreement with Media Molecule, noting this is the first time they're really giving access to the game's tools to the public as a reason for that. Additionally, the beta will be available in these regions: the US, Canada, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Australia. Users must be 18 years or older to get into the beta, but they do not need PlayStation Plus subscription to sign into it. Only a connection to the PSN is required. Holy shit, Andrea, it finally happened.
It's finally happened.
A beta promised us 2 PSXs ago, finally coming through.
Who's even keeping track, Greg?
I am. I very much am. All right. When I was PSX in San Francisco, if I remember correctly, told me in the summer it was going to be coming. Come on. But it's here. Yeah.
I would like to know what all is going to be available in the beta.
They make it very clear that's the creator beta. So it's you jumping in to create.
Right,
if they're
but
giving
there's
you
a
base
lot
levels.
Of tools, though.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of tools in there. Make your music, make your Muppets, make your puppets, make your other puppets, the marionettes, that's what I'm looking for.
Are you looking for more words that rhyme with puppet?
No, I just literally said Muppets and then the next word was puppets and then I was stuck. That I gotta find the third of a kind there. I can't just walk away from it, Andrea. You know what I mean? You gotta
I
bite
can't
down.
think of a third word. Muppets, puppets.
Marionettes.
Marionettes
Nailed it
doesn't
right
rhyme,
there.
though.
Oh, no. Well, I was saying, in the genus, as they would say in biology, of the puppet landscape. Sock puppets?
Yes.
That would be one. You
Sure.
know what I mean? Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I saw it and I was like, oh, cool. And I went to try to sign up for the newsletter and the website was totally crashed. And it was this morning was hectic with the way they were giving the information because it was a laid back stream where they were just talking and I was trying to write it all down and do everything. But then it was like, all right, cool. I'm not signed up for the newsletter. Go get them, everybody. I'm excited to see what the hell Dreams actually looks like and if it'll be successful, but I'm not in the mood to jump in and make anything. That's not really what I'd play in this.
It's not my cup of tea either. I've never been one to get into UGC, stuff like that. I don't doubt that there's a giant community out there that's been anxiously awaiting for these tools to be released, and I would love to see what they create. People who have much more artistic vision than I have.
What? No, you have plenty of artistic vision.
It's just not, in my skill set.
Wheelhouse, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, this will be great. The tools, when I use them in all of the preview sessions that I played, are very approachable, very intuitive, very easy to use. So even if you have a vision, but maybe the idea of the interface kind of is daunting to you or scares you a little bit, I would suggest you at least give it a go. Try it.
And that was my thing. I played a lot of Little Big Planet, Platinum number 1. I don't think I Platinum number 2. And I remember making levels in both of those and it being like, I'm like almost there. I know what I want, but it's just, I wish I could just tell it to do this thing and it would do it, not have to sit there and make these systems work. And what they always show us, right, is that you can sit there and make it be 100% level and do exactly what you want that moving platform. Or you can now select the object, press record, move it as jankily as you want with the DualShock stop, and then you have that moving the way you want. So you don't have to sit there like I did and try to figure out how to make this pulley do this thing to that lever and make it all work. Pain in the butt. No,
right?
Thank you. Number 3, Nintendo Switch is the fastest selling console this generation. This is from Nintendo themselves. Nintendo Switch has become the fastest selling video game system of this hardware generation through 21 months, according to the NPD Group, which tracks video game sales in the United States. From its launch in March 2017 through November 2018, Nintendo Switch has sold more than 8.7 million units, outpacing US sales of all other current generation systems at the same point in their life cycles. Nintendo is also the overall top-selling US software publisher so far in 2018, according to NPD data through November. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the game, which has become not only the fastest selling Nintendo Switch game of all time, but also the fastest selling game in the Super Smash Bros. Series, with US sales of over 3 million units in just 11 days, according to Nintendo's internal sales data. That's a long. I'm just stick with me. Where Nintendo Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game, comma, which is awesome. Okay, that's not a real sentence. I could be wrong, but that doesn't seem like a real sentence because we're putting the which has become not only we're inserting that, right? So
right.
that's supposed to that's just something that's not. So if you cut it out, it'd be Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game. But also so Super Smash Bros. Game with US sales of over 3 million. Yeah, that's not, whatever. It doesn't matter. You got the information. I'm just being a grammar nerd. The following data from Nintendo of America is specific to the US only. Nintendo hardware unit and dollar sales for 2018 are at their highest annual totals since 2011. Nintendo eShop sales have grown 105% over 2017. Evergreen Nintendo Switch games have set new milestones. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe selling over 4 million and 5 million units respectively.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Stop me dead in my tracks.
Because this struck me as wrong. I was like, these numbers are not correct.
Yeah.
Because back in April of this year, there was a story about game sales, particularly Super Mario Odyssey hitting 10 million sales. And it's technically 10.41 million in sales. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 9.22 million units. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 8.48 million units. And so when I saw
this... So are
this,
they talking about addition? This is like what's moved in the year?
I don't know where they're getting this from. Maybe this is US only sales?
No, that's true. I believe it's set at the top,
and the
right?
numbers that I have are total sales?
Okay, I'm looking here. Hold on. Nintendo Switch. Here's the thing. That's the... Yeah. Yeah, the following data from Nintendo of America is specific to the US only.
Okay.
So that's where you're coming from.
And so the Smash Brothers sales of 3 million units in just 11 days is US only?
With US sales of over 3 million units in just 11 days.
So
yeah.
just so we're clear what we're talking about here.
We're talking about the greatest country in the world. Cool Greg, join me. USA. 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 Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Even wearing your patriotic blue.
We got a lot of problems. And then Super Mario Odyssey has sold over 4.7 million units. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which together total 2 million units, and Super Mario Party at 1.4 million. A great year for Nintendo.
Heck yeah.
As they continue to go.
Good job, Nintendo.
Where do you fall in this whole thing if they're going to ship the 20 million units or whatever they want by fiscal?
I think they're going to fall short.
Yeah.
I said that early on when they announced this. I thought they were going to fall short, and I feel confident that they're going to fall short. They even projected that they were going to fall short.
No, Reggie refuses to give up the ghost. Reggie says Black Friday, holiday shopping, this is it, lead up to Christmas.
No doubt they're going to have a great holiday.
Yeah.
Switch is one of those gifts that is a fantastic thing to give, not only just because Smash is recently out, but because the games that are out for it are family-friendly favorites. You got Super Mario Party, Mario Kart, Overcooked, Zelda. I think it'll be great this season, but there's a lot of other great deals and games too. I mean,
Agreed.
look at PSVR like having a resurgence here with Beat Saber and Astrobot and Moss and everything that's happening. So I think this is great. I think Nintendo is really made a comeback from Wii U.
Oh yeah,
and are doing awesome. I think I would like to know more about what's happening in 2019 on their slate.
All you need to know, Animal Crossing, buddy. I'll trade my cherries for your peaches. You know what I'm saying? Get over there. Tom Nook will own us both.
That doesn't get me excited.
Oh
Greg.
my God! Come on.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I understand you can't get into Pokemon, whatever. You enjoy it from it. You don't like Smash. Okay, that's cool. I get all that. Animal Crossing, you've got to get into.
No.
Jump in with me.
Why do I have?
Because it'll be fun to play together, Andrea. And you'll go home, and then twice a week you'll come here, and we'll look at each other's houses and we'll have fun. Joey, come on, get that shock mic up, cool guy. Joey, are we getting her into Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing.
That's Joey's sales pitch.
So many bells.
No, but like, give me
today.
the elevator pitch as to why I should care about Animal Crossing.
Who doesn't want to relax and build a
play games
house and like
together?
design it? You can make your own little studio. You can recreate the What's Good Games studio in Animal Crossing.
Sounds like work.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of task
Stardew
management.
Valley. I do all these chores that I don't do in real life.
Yeah,
but in
no,
video games.
Steimer and Britt are trying to convince me to get into Stardew Valley now that multiplayer is out, and
It's
I'm
so
just
fun.
Don't worry.
But you can have a little horse with a hat, a little sombrero.
We're not doing that. We're pushing on one thing. We're pushing on Animal Crossing. All right.
But it's not even out yet.
I know. That's why we gotta.
we don't even know what it looks
We've
like.
got to build her appetite for it. If you start satiating it with Stardew Valley, then it's all over. You just go play Stardew Valley with Jen.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Bye, Joey.
I want to do a quick you're wrong checking because a lot of people are very, very angry, and they're angry at a young boy who comes to our chat often named Zyger. Spiderface says, Tracer doesn't do Carlton's dance. She does the Charleston. Completely unrelated. Way to go, Zyger. You got your wronged in your wrong.
Do you not know what the Charleston is, Zyger?
No, he's like 14. He doesn't know
That's
anything.
true.
You know what I mean?
Zyger is little.
And while I'm here, I might as well say Lord of Pwn points out that the Dreams beta was originally announced for 2016 at Paris Games Week in 2016. PSX in SF was in 2015, where Dreams was in the Media Lounge, and they did not announce a time frame then, at least on the record. It wasn't off the record either. I was thinking of Paris Games Week. Thank you very much, Lord of Pwn. Nailing it as always. And number 4 on the Roper Report, congratulations to Bonnie Ross. I'm going to read from Xbox's official statement. Today, we are happy to share that the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, AIAS, has announced its 23rd Hall of Fame recipient, Bonnie Ross, Microsoft Corporate Vice President and Head of 343 Industries.
This is exciting news.
Ross has been integral in the vision and expansion of the Halo franchise that has continued to excite generations of fans, generating nearly $6 billion in worldwide sales to date, and has transcended video games to grow into a global entertainment phenomenon. Ross is also a key voice in promoting STEM and diversity efforts across the gaming industry amongst women, underrepresented minorities, and children. Quote, it is thanks to Bonnie's vision and drive for combining art and technology that has allowed the Halo universe to flourish within so many different mediums and platforms, said Megan Scavio, President, Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. That, along with her deep passion to expand diversity in gaming and encourage STEM education amongst women as well as young people, is truly inspirational. Her positive legacy and leadership have helped advance interactive entertainment and will impact game makers and aspiring game makers. Yeah, okay. Oh, I see. Game makers and aspiring game makers for generations to come. The 2019 Hall of Fame Award will be presented to Ross during the 22nd Annual Dice Awards ceremony on Wednesday, February 13th, 2019, at the ARIA Convention Center in Las Vegas by our longtime colleague and friend, Phil Spencer, Executive Vice President and Head of Gaming at Microsoft. Congratulations, Bonnie Ross.
This is fantastic news. Well deserved. I'm glad to see her getting some recognition. This is also on the heels of the announcement that Amy Hennig is also getting.
Yeah, she's getting the award. Is that at DICE or is that at GDC?
I thought that was a.
We read it here, but I can't remember which one it was.
Oh my gosh, I think it's GDC.
I think it's GDC. Yeah. I understand your confusion though, because of course GDC does the awards too. Megan Scavio used to work at GDC.
Lifetime Achievement Award, GDC 2019.
Exactly. Yes. I thought you were going to say hot on the heels of the news that I am hosting again.
Yay! Greg is back.
Along with Jessica Choba. She'll be there too.
Yay, Jessica's back.
Yay, Jessica. Yeah, so we're doing DICE Awards again, February 13th, 2019.
That was just announced this morning.
Exactly after this. They were like, how can we immediately overshadow Bonnie? They're like, put the Nerdist and Kind of Funny kids out there. And then we went, and we're like, everybody forget about Bonnie. It's us. We're doing stuff. I had a chicken.
Technically, she was the headliner in that announcement. And you guys...
we had our own announcement.
You guys were in the B block. Okay?
Technically, I'll have you know that she got her own press release and we got a tweet. And when I put this press release in there, I was like, when are we announcing that?
Do you want me to show you the press release where you're in the B block?
I didn't see it. It wasn't this though, was it? Did I stop reading before we even got to this? That's funny as hell if I did, because that's how Greg Miller rolls when he's putting together Kind of Funny Games daily.
Message.
You know what I mean?
This is not the right one.
Cool, Greg, you straight chilling over there? Oh, I'm big cool. That's what I like to hear. Hold on, she's looking. Andrew's looking for the press release where they talk about me. She's looking.
Google search, don't let me down.
Oh, see, Lord of Ponan, you're wrong, is with me. Nintendo has maintained that they would hit their hardware sales goal for the fiscal year. So in your face, Andrea, as usual.
Okay, that's fine. You can say it's in my face.
Gotcha good.
I still think they're going to fall short.
I can't wait to see Bonnie get this award at DICE and make sure I don't screw it up. But DICE is still so far away, Andrea. If I wanted to know something a little bit more important. Oh, damn, I wasn't the B block of that press release. If I want to know something more important, they're not more important, more imminent, where would I go?
Well, Greg, you would go to the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today. Fortuna, the Profit Taker, is available in Warframe on Steam. Last year, The Nightmare is out now on Discord Store. Donut County is available on Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. Sheltered is on Switch. Bladed Fury launches today on Steam. There was that last game that was Furies. There are furries. It would have been. Yeah, I'm sure it would have been great. Would be great. Warhammer Vermintide 2 is available on PlayStation 4 today. Beats Fever is on PlayStation 4. Cook Serve Delicious 2 is on PlayStation 4. Dreamwalker is on PlayStation Vita. It lives. Gun Club VR is on PSVR. London Detective Mysteria is on PlayStation 4. Nippon Marathon is on Xbox One.
Scintillatron.
Thank you. 4096 is on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. It lives. The Spy Who Shrunk Me is now available on PC on early access. Williams Pinball Volume 2 offers 3 new Pinball FX3 tables today. There's a free Holiday Hoarders mission returning to Hitman 2 with fan favorite Santa 47 suit, plus the Paris location trial, and it's all available today. And then, Studio Wildcard today blanketed the world of Ark Survival Evolved with a winter-themed landscape. The Winter Wonderland holiday event will find Raptor Claw's sleigh gliding across the Ark night sky, airdropping presents filled with high-end loot, as well as mistletoe and coal for those naughty survivors. Okay. And then we have new dates for you. Battle Princess Madeline has a bunch of release dates. It's coming to Switch in North America on December 20th, PlayStation 4 in North America on December 20th, Switch in EU and Australia January 7th, PlayStation in the EU and Australia sometime in 2019. And then, Life is Strange Episode 2 Rules will release January 24th, 2019 on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Windows PC. You said it confirmed something else?
Yes, it confirms.
There was a trailer today. Is that what happened? I didn't see the trailer.
There's a live action trailer that is out today, and in the press release, Square Enix confirmed this is the episode where the Diaz brothers will encounter Captain Spirit.
Whoa! From that the free teaser they put out, right?
Right, The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, which is still available for free, and if you never played it, highly recommend it. Very
Did they
good.
add trophies? then I got better things to do. I'm sorry, all right? Here's this thing that kind of ties in, doesn't tie in. Get out of here, Captain Underpants. I got things to do. No deals of the day for you. Everybody hates you. But instead, we're going to jump to Reader Mail, where I do have a deal from our sponsor, Loot Crate. Have you heard about Loot Gaming? It's a monthly subscription box delivered direct to your door with exclusive pop culture collectibles, apparel, and gear. Loot Gaming curates and designs everything themselves, and you can't find these items anywhere else, just like my Metal Gear pint glass. It's a Foxhound glass. I love it very much. Nick stole both of them for a while and hid them in the office. Meanwhile, Cool Greg loves it and puts the pins that come in the thing on his hat. Isn't that right, Cool Greg?
All the time.
Thank you. Want to hear about this month's theme? Okay. Earth is secure. It's time to take the fight off-world. Take on alien invaders with gear from Halo, Gears of War, Mass Effect, and Galaga. Loot Gaming is a curated collection of exclusive, one-of-a-kind items from the best video game franchises around. There's a t-shirt in every crate and more than $60 of value in a crate that costs you less than $29 a month. This crate will sell out, so order as fast as you can to make sure it doesn't. And they make good Christmas presents. Wink. Get the best surprises each month from the largest geek and gaming subscription company. Geek out in style with Loot Crate. Subscribe now by going to lootcrate.com/games. Enter my code GAMES to save an exclusive 30% off your subscription. That's lootcrate.com/games. My code GAMES to save an exclusive 30% off your subscription. I'm starting to use echoes more, Andrea. I just want you to know that.
I like it.
Thank you.
It adds a nice dramatic effect.
I'm trying. You know, that's the big thing for me out here. I want to make sure Games Daily, it's been not dramatic enough for me. That's my problem. Where do I want to start with you, Andrea Renee? You know, I'm paging through here looking for a good one because we got good questions. But when you get here, you need to just kick it off with a bang. You need you need a good discussion topic.
It's my last show of the year, Greg.
It's
Make it a good
life. It's now. Wow, now. Let's start with Engeo. Engeo writes in to kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, "Hey, Greg and Andrea, I'm curious if there are any game mechanics that will make you instantly nope out of a game because you just hate it. Also, if you do, can you link it to something you hate in real life? For example, I can't get into games with hunger meters. No matter how little it matters, if I need to eat to survive in a video game, I know I won't get into it. I can be 100% into all the other game mechanics, but that alone will make my annoyance outweigh all the other things in the game. I also enjoy having to stop what I'm doing to eat. That's what he says. I don't really enjoy going out to eat, making food, or just eating, period.
Oh, so sad.
I find it more of a hassle than an enjoyment. Yes, I know I'm weird, but since I linked those two things, it made me realize why I hate hunger in games. Curious if you have any similar hangups in games. How can you hate eating in real life? Eating is one of the best pleasures.
It's so good. Yeah.
Now, I will put this out there that I know I'm weird about. I hate getting a haircut. I feel like I'm wasting time there. I just got to sit there like a dope. You know what I mean? Try to make conversation with a stranger who's got their hands all over my head.
You don't go to the same barber?
No. I tried doing that, but then it's like one of those, it's a nice little barbershop, right?
Yeah.
Great. It's, you know, the dad and the son, they run it. This is awesome. I love it. It's quaint. Always packed when it's open. And then the weirdest hours of all time. They're like literally like, oh, it's Labor Day weekend, so we're not going to work starting on like Tuesday. I'm like, that doesn't help me. And so then I tried, and I go, oh, sorry, we close at 6 tonight for some random reason. Oh, we're opening. You know what?
That means they're a good barber because they have enough clientele that
I'm
they
just
can do
going
what
to
they want.
Supercuts. Thank you. It's not hard to do this haircut. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean? Just make me look not shaggy. That's all I got to do. Anyways, I digress.
Dudes have haircuts so easy.
I've never had to get my on. I like getting haircuts in video games because then it makes my character look different. What systems and games do you not like, Andrea?
One of the things I hate the most in gameplay systems is encumbrance. It's internally annoying. Every time I play a game that has encumbrance, I'm like, why? Why is this a stupid thing I have to micromanage in this game?
Yeah.
And if it's bad enough, I will stop playing the game because I hate having to pick up stuff and drop stuff and then dismantle stuff or sell my junk and all that garbage, right?
Yeah.
Encumbrance, I hate.
I'm not a fan either.
Probably because I hate carrying stuff in real life.
Oh, wow. Interesting. That's very interesting.
I mean, like when you have to bring your groceries in or you have like an intense Target run, you have to bring everything in. It's just annoying.
Trying to get all the bags up on your arms. Yeah,
then when I used to live in an apartment, I used to have to keep a shopping cart locked in the garage on my car because otherwise I'd have to go up like 5 flights of stairs with all of my bags. That's a pro tip, by the way.
You steal a shopping cart?
I did steal a shopping
just
cart.
Just making sure I understood where that happened.
I did.
We stole one for backyard wrestling, so I can't throw stones from my glass house.
But then one of my neighbors kept taking the shopping cart, and I'm like, listen, if you want to use my shopping cart,
steal your own.
I'm fine with it because it's technically not mine. I'm borrowing it from the grocery store down the street.
Sure.
But put it back. Don't leave it up by your apartment door.
That's what they were doing?
Yes. And then I would find it outside their door.
Did you put a bike lock on it finally?
Yes,
Nice,
I did. I was like, and then they clearly were upset that I locked it up, and I was like, well, listen, this is why you can't have nice. This is why you can't have nice.
Did you see it like
things.
rattled around like they had been like gnawing on the bike lock trying to get through it?
I never noticed that, but no.
You just assumed that there was a, I was angry because I understand it. But yeah, they should have done it the right way. Encumbrance is a really good one. I can get over encumbrance though. Like in Fallout 76 when I was playing before break, it was very much like, all right, this is a thing that exists in this universe. But then I just started putting all
walk all slow. Oh, I hate
I started
it so
putting
bad.
I started putting everything into strength points to try to up my, how much I can carry and stuff. That's a good one. This is stick with me because this is going to anger a lot of people. And just like how I hate space, it's one of those that I don't hate all the time. I have to be in a very specific mood for turn-based combat. I like action. We're actually doing it. It's real time.
Same.
Now, I know you're saying, Greg, what about Persona? You enjoy that. What about, Valkyria, which is real time? But you know what I mean? How you move it around, have to do all these different things. You have to plan it through. And Octopath's a way better example. What about Persona? What about Octopath? There's rare examples of like, oh, that's great. But a good example of the difference here is that you remember we went to Judges Week, played Divinity Original Sin 2 down there. Yes. It was coming to everything. It was on Xbox right away, but it was going to come to PlayStation eventually. It came to PlayStation. I installed it and I kept it on my cross media bar forever. I'm like, I'm going to get to this and I can't wait for it. And I think it was this weekend or 2 weekends ago where I was like, I want to play something. You know what? I could go for Diablo. I'm going to jump into Divinity finally. And when I jumped in there and it was turn-based combat, I was immediately like, oh, no, this is just, I can't do this today.
Right out of
this
there.
is not what I want to play right now. There'll be a day that'll come back and I'll want to get back into it. But for me, it's just kind of boring. Eventually it just becomes like, okay. And I know it's rock, paper, scissors and all. It's like, all right, that's not what I want to play right now.
You're preaching to the choir here. I don't play turn-based games either.
Pound it out, yeah. I mentioned Fallout in there. Let's talk to Block. Block writes in to kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, it's been 10 days since I last played Fallout 76. I've been in a love-hate relationship with this game. And I should say again, I know Valkyria not turn-based, but you understand where you're switching off and that thing. And like you can run up and shoot people, but you do have to wait for ability points and stuff. I'm aware of the difference. Don't you wrong me. I love Valkyria Chronicles 4. Good night. Block says, Fallout 76, I will have love-hate relationship with the game. I think eventually it will get to a state where I can really enjoy my time. However, here I am hoping for good things to happen, but to my surprise, more things that are just making the game a joke. Reading through the Reddit thread, I heard about these Christmas emotes that showed up in the Atom shop one day, displaying it as 50% off from 2,400 to 1,200 atoms in-game currency. Cool festive emotes, right? No, there's nothing cool about the emotes other than you waste $12 that changes the animated icon above your head from regular to festive. And now, with the news of possible lunchboxes, see loot crates, my hope is starting to dwindle for this game. I'm now holding on to a thread of hope that they will do this game and its players justice. So this leads me to my question. Day one, they said this game wasn't going to be pay to win and no loot crates, and everything in the Atom shop is going to be strictly cosmetics. And now, there is proof of loot boxes / lunchboxes in ESM files with possible boosts and mutilation perks. Should we as a community hold Bethesda accountable if these lunchboxes appear? Unfortunately, if loot boxes come to this game, I don't picture myself playing the game again. Andrew, have you kept up on any of this? Are you still following what's happening with the Fallout 76 stuff? Because we didn't talk about it yesterday. I thought it was too niche. But I'm still paying attention. I'm still reading the Reddit.
Well, and you probably were like, do I have to do another story about freaking loot boxes?
For me, it was more, do I have to do another story about how Fallout 76 continues to fucking step on rakes in their front yard? Right. Like, how can you keep fucking this up? How? Like, let's throw away the loot box, lunchbox. It's in the ESM. This is the thing. People got in the source code and saw it and then see this thing that says ATM in front of it. They think it's going to be Atom or whatever. It's more the fact that, yes, this is a full price game and they still haven't fixed their currency and they give you $500. They give you $5 if you bought the wrong collector's edition or you bought the collector's edition with the nylon bag.
Well, they're fixing that now. You can get the actual bag.
Yeah, I know. Okay, still a slap in the face. Here's a $5 worth of Atoms. When you go in there, yeah, and it's, hey, do you want to spend $20 on a Santa suit? $20? And you can be like, oh, well, Fortnite. No, Fortnite's a free-to-play game. Like, it's a different thing there. Like, what the fuck is going on? How do you keep fucking this up? And the Thanksgiving icon on the front screen was on there way past Thanksgiving. Like, calm down. It's not that hard. Throw your players that are still there a bone, everybody. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, Greg. Here's the thing. I generally would say there's nothing wrong with charging a premium price for a premium skin. Assassin's Creed does it. I have no problem paying for it. If it's a cool skin, I know exactly what I'm getting. It looks cool. Even though that game is full price, that game is also not broken. I think what Bethesda is continuing to misstep on rakes in their front yard is that they haven't fixed what's wrong with the base game before they're now introducing premium options. And that's really the tragedy here, is that this game has the potential to be really great. And in an open world sandbox like a Fallout game, you want to have cool customization options, particularly because in this game, they allow you to wear these custom suits, but still keep the armor stats of the other pieces you have equipped. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you could still look cool, but then keep all your stats.
Very nice. I like that a lot.
But that being said, they haven't fixed what's fundamentally broken about the game to begin with. And so it looks like they're now putting the cart before the horse.
And they have that's the thing with the rakes. It's just so many bad looks.
Yeah.
You know that everything's fucked up right now. Let's not come out and act like it's not and give full price suits out and like because that is the headline. That's what people are knocking them for. Let alone then digging in and look. Wait, hold on. The lunch boxes are there, but it looks like they're going to have things that you can buy in the store that will give you a bonus when you said you want to.
It's tough because I've heard from several people as we've been talking about Fallout 76 over the last couple of weeks that have had nothing but wonderful experiences in the game, and I know that there's people listening to the show right now.
I enjoy playing the game.
That are like, I've had a great time in the game. I haven't run into these bugs. I haven't run into these connectivity issues. I don't know why people are hating on it. And it's tough because if you don't experience, those game-breaking issues, then you don't understand why people are upset. And so I get that maybe from Bethesda's perspective, they maybe are looking at it, well, maybe it's just the vocal minority that's complaining.
Right.
And let's just continue on with our path forward with what we had planned to do anyway. But I would say there's enough people voicing concerns, particularly supported by gameplay clips that we see online and connectivity issues, that maybe you should slow down what your plan is.
Stop acting like everything's okay.
Or give an incentive to people who have been having problems to say, hey, you know what? We had plans to release this really cool holiday-themed pack of emotes and skins, whatever. Because know that a lot of you out there have been having issues, we're going to make it 50% off.
There you go.
Right?
See, that's my thing. Is like, well, that's what they're saying, but they're still too high. I mean, like, bring it down to a...
Right. Or 75% off. Or
exactly.
Like, we're going to give you one choice of something for free.
There you go.
For everybody for this one period of time. Like, log in, get your free thing as like a thank you and a sorry that you've been having a tough time. I'm with you that they need to be doing more for the people that have been struggling.
And it's your, question of like, should they hold them to account? I think they're getting held to their standards here in terms of what's happening with Fallout 76 and what that community is doing and how they're reading it. Are they preparing for a free-to-play launch or something, in the new year, somewhere to that point to try to grab people back in? Who knows? But it's still going to be a fascinating story to watch in 2019. I can't wait for a year from now to look back at where that game is and what it did and what that meant for E3 and other releases for Bethesda in the year. Carl Hunter writes into kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, hello, Andrea and Greg. Over the weekend, the Borderlands 2 VR review from IGN was redacted after misinformation was given, parentheses, no jump or any way to change the comfort settings, end parentheses, giving the game a 3 out of 10. How do you think this got through? As IGN also had promotional videos with the developers explaining all the controls. So yeah, if you're not aware, there was a kerfluffle at IGN over the weekend where, yes, a review went up for Borderlands 2 VR, PlayStation VR, got a 3 out of 10, and then the internet started tearing apart the review and being like, he's saying these control options don't exist when if you go into controls, you can clearly see that they do. When it got reported, Dan Stapleton took to Twitter, they took down the review. It took time to come down because there's so many territories and all these different things for IGN. To answer the question, Carl, and I can only speak as somebody who was left IGN in 2015, there's just way too many moving parts. When you give a review to someone to review, you're already trusting them. Okay, you know what you're talking about. You have an eye for video games. Understand. Here's the game. You go play and you report back. I sincerely doubt that whoever his editor was, whether it was Dan or somebody else, whoever checked that, had already gone through and watched those things, right? Because it comes down to you're compartmentalized and you have a job to do. And so I doubt necessarily the editor who's reviewing the review or editing the review has gone through and is the biggest Borderlands 2 PlayStation VR fan and has watched all this stuff and kept all that memory in there. Chances are they're more worried about, cool, what's the next review I'm assigning to somebody? What's the next thing I need to edit? When does this need to go up? What's the embargo? You get put into your place of how you run your part of the ship.
I'm going to disagree with you, Greg.
Go ahead.
Because a 3 out of 10 should flag any review's editor's eye. if you're seeing a bunch of reviews coming in, and right now we're not. It's a very slow review season right now at the very end of the year, the back half of December.
Well, people start checking out, right?
And IGN has had a partnership with 2K where they did an event for Borderlands VR earlier this week. So this is why it was an even bigger flag.
I wasn't sure of that.
Because I would have assumed that doing that kind of a partnership meant that they liked the game and it would have had a favorable review score. Not saying that it was pay for play or anything like that, but that why would you choose to do a paid partnership with somebody that for a game that you thought was trash, right?
Sure. Well, for my day back then, it's the wall between advertising and editorial,
right?
And that was very much the reason when you saw me move from running the PlayStation team to being a host, it was so that I could be sold on projects and not have an opinion or have to be worried about what it would look like if I reviewed that product.
Fair point. Let's put that aside then.
Okay, throw it away.
Let's go back to my original point.
Do it.
A 3 out of 10 is a really horrific score.
Bad.
And in order for that score to be justified, I would hope any outlet would say, wow, that's a really bad score. We should probably get somebody else's eyes on that to figure out why they gave this game such a bad score, because that's going to raise the alarm if you publish any review with a 3 out of 10. Even if it's like a genuinely bad game, like that's a abysmal score. That's a broken game, a game that should not be played under any circumstances. And I have to imagine that PlayStation would never have allowed certification for a game that would deserve a 3 out of 10, meaning it's broken.
Okay. Let's not get ahead of Life of Hidden Tiger or whatever that piece of trash was.
Sure. I mean, like, content is different than like a fundamentally broken game, right? And not only that, like, I trust that 2K wouldn't put out a game that's so bad that it gets a 3 out of 10.
Sure.
And so I think that there's clearly a missing oversight here. And after everything that happened with their plagiarism incident earlier in the year, I would have hoped that they would have put some more systems in place to catch these things as they're coming through. And saying just because they're a big outlet and they have a ton of people working for them and a ton of reviews, that to me means they have more responsibility because they have more eyes versus a smaller team that might miss something because everybody's doing a bunch of different jobs at once. So I think that this is really unacceptable, that this is how it happened twice in a calendar year, that they've had oversight. The first time, sure. Like,
with the plagiarism thing, and especially in kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, from what I understand of reading the Reddit, reading Reset Era about this latest IGN thing, the Borderlands thing, that person's freelance. Whereas like the plagiarism thing was, hey, I run IGN Nintendo. I've been here a while. Everyone knows me. Like plagiarism way harder to catch, right? Like I definitely don't expect your reviews editor to go through and have to, and this is the world we live in, to line by line Google search, right? And do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would imagine if a game is either a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, or if it's like anything from like a 5 lower, those like things on the other end of the spectrum would catch somebody's eye to be like, oh, this game is really that good. Let's take a second look at it. Or this game is really that bad. Let's take a second look at that. And so I think that this is really just unacceptable that this got printed.
Interesting. I appreciate the perspective. Yeah, I think, there's a bunch of stuff in there to dissect. The fact of like, you don't think 2K or Sony would release or Sony would certify. No, then there'd be no 3s. There's 3s all the time. Yeah. Naughty Bear was broken and shit. Yeah.
But like, are there reviews of games that are 3s? I know they get published all the time.
Well,
look at like the iOS, the Android store, Steam. There's a bunch of like garbage games that would be a 3 out of 10 if somebody was scoring them besides Steam user reviews.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a Metacritic rated site.
Yeah.
That's submitting a score to Metacritic.
Yeah.
Different story, I think. I think it's apples to oranges.
But you're admitting that. So just to walk it back, you're saying that 2K would publish a bad game and Sony would certify. No, you're not.
I stand by that.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think 2K would publish a game that they thought was going to get a 3 out of 10.
Really?
I don't. I think they would patch it and fix it. I'm not saying none of their games have been scored that way.
Yeah. Okay.
But I have to believe, and I do believe that 2K cares more about their games and the success and the financial success of their games, and a game that they think might have the potential to get a 3 out of 10, like in a like a pre-release like focus group or whatever, like they would look at it and go, we need to maybe fix something about this, and delay launch.
Okay.
I firmly believe that.
Good. I like this conversation. It's rare that we're so not. I don't trust these corporations. You know what I mean? Like, I think 2K's filled with wonderful people and Sony's filled with wonderful people.
I trust them so far as they want to make money, and a game that gets a 3 out of 10 is not going to make money. I'm not saying that they're solely doing it because they believe in the creative vision, even though I hope that they do. But my point is, it's not fiscally smart to publish things that are bad.
Okay.
Because bad things don't make money.
Sure, but you know how it works too. Of like, first off, there's the EDAR study that any review, whether it's bad or good, leads to sales. It gets people in their head. Then the next part too, right? That it just being on IGN then is the publicity part of it. Then let alone, what if this was an agreement they had with Gearbox that they have to ship this thing by this stupid date? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying this is what it is, because obviously, I for the record, the next question is from Paul, and Paul's like, what do you guys think of Borderlands VR, PSVR? I just played it in the other room. I'm going to talk about it on Gamescast for like my hour of it, but it's good. Like, I mean, I don't know if I want to play Borderlands 2 again, but I was like, oh, this actually works. This is actually fun. Like, I'm not having the problems that would So here, let's dial it back now and get back on. I'm going to get back on your train on a different topic.
Sure.
If I'm working at IGN and I had played it, or they got me code and I'm playing it, and I see the review come through and they're like, oh man, they gave it a 3 out of 10 based on the hour I just would have played, I would have been like, what are you fucking talking? Let me read it. Like, why the hell would this get a 3 out of 10? Like,
that's my point.
But I also have been there when it is like I'm assigning out freelance reviews to people. They're coming back in. I'm running the team with Clements or Colin or whatever. I'm checking their reviews. I'm going into meetings. Like, I don't know. I would have here's I think the undercurrent of this, and stick with me, is that I think, and I'm not at all, this is not me projecting on IGN. This is me projecting on the PlayStation VR has had a great year. I still think a lot of people do roll their eyes at VR games and not really think that they're going to be good. So I think more, if you saw a 3 out of 10 come through, you're like, oh man, yep, Gearbox and 2K doing anything they can for $1. All right, read through it. Yeah, these are problems as they're written that would be a problem for me, and like I can see why this would be a 3 out of 10 or whatever. I didn't read the review. I don't know, other than the control part. And so, okay, cool, publish and ship, and like it's going to be one of those things that only the hardcore PlayStation VR fan, and that's the other thing too, is like the reason this is getting reviewed, and you brought up, bad games don't get reviews that much anymore, right? Especially at a site like IGN, and again, this isn't me attacking them. IGN, when I was there, moved off of the Jeremy Dunham mentality that we had of, we're going to review every game that comes out, to we're going to review the games that resonate with our audience. And so it's rare that a game that looks like dog shit somewhere, people are like, oh man, thousands of people need to do it. But of course, Borderlands and PlayStation VR are hot topics. You can see that people care. You'd get in there and review it. But I don't think people maybe set expectations high on that, whether it be they don't like PlayStation VR, they remember how Borderlands Vita shipped, stuff like that.
2 things.
Sure.
First,
what a fun topic.
If you are the reviews editor, and you have experience doing this, obviously, not necessarily as like the title of reviews editor, but as somebody who works in reviews.
Sure.
If you saw a 3 out of 10, would a bell not go off somewhere in your head to be like, huh, that's odd? Would you just be like, oh, it must just be a bad game?
Well, my bells wouldn't go off if that's odd. It would be like, oh man, bad games happen. I mean, You're Wrong's popping off right now with 3 out of 10s IGNs have published, right?
Of course.
Lord of Pwn, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 was reviewed by IGN and given it a 3.5. Zaire says 2K has published games like Alien Colonial Marines and Duke Nukem Forever. Lord of Pwn, IGN reviews have scored, and it goes on like this. So, I mean, they happen, right? And that is the thing where I think it would...
Oh, no, for the record, I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying they're anomalies, right? Most games are not a 3 out of 10.
Sure.
Which is why my stance is, how did this not catch your eye as like wow, that's a really bad score. Like, let me take a second look at why that game's so bad. Because it's kind of like the idea of like when you drive it on the freeway and there's an accident on the other side of the road, and you're like, oh, that's terrible. I have to take a look at it because I have this weird obsession with looking at bad things.
Yeah.
I mean, if I see a really bad review score, I usually go and read the review because I'm like really curious.
Now, see that. Hold on though. That's the thing right there. That's what it would peak for me as well. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking now, Greg Miller. Borderlands. I'm sipping my coffee, getting games together. Oh, the Borderlands reviews up 3 out of 10.
Is it really truly that bad?
I'm going to scroll through and read the review and see if I think what they say is justifying a 3 out of 10. And I bet that's what the reviews editor did as well.
So my second point was, do you think it's appropriate to assign somebody a review that does not have experience with the platform or the franchise and is going in completely blind?
Under no circumstance. I do not think that is the case. We've talked about that. I don't think you were on the show, and maybe it was a Gamescast. But coming from the era, like I was hired at IGN when we reviewed everything. Somebody wrote in and was talking about it, like, were there reviews you shouldn't have done? And I'm like, oh my God, yes. Are you kidding me? I did Valkyria Knights 2 or whatever. And I'm like, that was like the third JRPG I ever played. And I hated playing it, not because the game was bad, just because I have no love for this, whatever. But it was what was put on my desk with an assignment, right? And so, yeah, no, I hear you on that front. Yeah, I think that is the struggle we have now in terms of the industry at large, where it is, oh man, a new PlayStation exclusive single player game drops, right? And I do believe there's a large part of the audience that goes, "Oh my God, I want to know what Greg thinks of that because he loves those kind of games and we know he plays PlayStation." And then there's an equal side of the audience like, "Cool, I want everyone's opinion but Greg fucking Miller. All he does is talk about PlayStation and those kind of games." And that's where it gets into this weird thing of IGN and being a reviewer, and this is me as an outsider talking about IGN now. Looking at IGN and their review staff, you want them to be more objective as possible, I feel, in a lot of ways, as compared to me, who gets to play a game and be like, yeah, I played 45 minutes of it, didn't click for me. And my audience goes, oh, cool. That makes sense to me. I know who Greg is. That's not me putting out a Metacritic score. That's not me giving my final thumbs up or thumbs down to what this game and these years of developers worked on. It's just me being like, it doesn't click for me. And people are like, oh, I know what, if I agree or disagree with what clicks for Greg.
Right.
Oh, that's a good topic. We should have done this earlier. I love you, Andrea.
I love you too, Greg.
So yeah, I'm going to talk about Borderlands on the Gamescast today. If you want to watch, patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, 2 p.m. live recording. If not, you can catch it on Friday. Yeah, this is the one that's going up on Friday. And if not, next week. I digress. I think that's probably a good place to stop. That seemed like a good one, you know? Some heated conversation. We're over here. I'm sorry I didn't tell you to wear your Christmas sweater. I apologize for that one.
We could have had matching Christmas sweaters today.
Dev wants to know a bit about Below, but I think we're going to talk about that on Gamescast as well later too. Today, I'm going to tell you, it's time to squad up. This is where one of you writes in to kindafunny.com/KFGD with your questions, comments, concerns, bad PSN names, and everything else under the video game sun. You also write in there, I totally blew it, to tell me your name, username, platform of choice, and why you need help on a video game. I read here, the best friends come and find you. Everybody has fun together. Today, ruialkyder needs help. That's RUIALKYDER. Ruialkyder. It's on PlayStation 4. He or she writes in and says, I'm looking for some KFBFs to play some Overwatch competitive with me. I was a high platinum player and dropped to gold playing by myself. My friends don't play anymore, and I'm just looking for a team to play with. I'm a support main. Also, I play other games like NBA, 2K19, Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty Blackout, Fortnite, and many more. Please feel free to add me and let's party together. Party mode every Wednesday at 9 a.m. You can get it early on Patreon for $1. Thank you very much. Everybody hit up ruialkyder. That's in the YouTube description if you want to get it there. Andrea.
Yes.
We record the show live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames.
We sure do.
We ask people watching live to go to kindoffunny.com/you'rewrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up. You were already looking through it. I can see you're.
I've been looking through it.
We've been pretty good about keeping on top of it as we go.
Yeah, but the one I really like is Albino Yeti reminds you February 2nd, 2022 is 2222.
We didn't miss it.
Still got one more.
Is that the last one we'll get? No, but I guess we could get 3333, right?
In 2033.
In 4444. I guess I was really wrong about this. I guess I was like super duper wrong and I was done with this. My life continues, everybody. Another reason to keep on going. That's cool. Thank you very much. That's good.
Lord of Pone, we, the Vikings, he means, actually play the Lions this NFL week, not next week. And to that I would say, technically, Monday Night Football hasn't happened. Oh, it did happen yesterday. But he does say, if you don't want a contest as a year wrong, considering most people see Sunday as the beginning of the new week, that's fine too. I think it's also me just like forgetting that there are 7 days until Christmas.
That is outrageous. When you said that out loud today, I was like, damn, that's right around the corner.
Yeah. So we're going to the game in 5 days.
Exciting.
It's going to be fun.
How are we getting there? Am I driving to your house? Then we're all going to one car?
We'll talk strategy because getting to the stadium is kind of a thing.
It's a pain in the butt. Like, do you do the thing where you park early and then you get on a little train and you go down that way?
The little light rail? Yeah.
That's
but I was going to suggest we go down to Santana Row first. We'll talk afterwards.
Sounds good to me. Let's do a lot of pointing like this. Pointing. I like this line. I forget if Jen has a Bears shirt. Can't remember.
You can get her one.
I got less than 7 days now. You know what I mean?
I'm conflicted. I want to wear my Vikings holiday sweater because it lights up and it's cool. But then I'm going to be that girl wearing like the Vikings thing to the Bears.
We hate you.
I don't know if I should do this or not.
No, come on. You married. I know you're a Vikings fan. Everybody knows you're a Vikings. You married into You married a Bears person. So like, I feel like you can trade it off every so often.
But I can't wear Niners gear. That just feels false.
So that's why you got to wear the Bears thing.
So I should wear something completely unrelated.
Just wear the Bears
Maybe
thing.
I just wear like a Christmas sweater, just a generic Christmas sweater.
I mean, that sounds even worse. I'd wear the Viking sweater at that point.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to wear the Viking sweater then.
Okay, fine. You came
I could wear my PlayStation pink sweater.
Sure. That's a weird one to pick, but yeah, I mean, it's got no relation to anything happening at the game.
This is the problem though.
Yeah.
So
Why don't you just wear a Bears shirt?
No,
just
Greg,
do it.
How dare you?
It's not like a Bears fan wearing a Packers thing. That's fine.
It's against my core of what I believe. I cannot do it.
That's fair. Okay, I'll respect it.
If it was a Cubs shirt, different. Bears, no.
Okay.
I will support the Chicago Cubs on behalf of my husband because I have no stake
in baseball
in Minnesota Twins.
Okay.
But Bears can't do it.
Okay,
moving on.
Got him. And then it gets into arguments just about all this stuff. Here's a bunch of 3 out of 10 games.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of people talking about the dance with the Carlton being the Charleston.
Right. Yeah, we were way past that.
Lord of Punch is The Dreams We Had was originally announced for 2016 at Paris Games Week.
We read that in the middle of the show.
Yeah. We read this in the middle of the show. This is a weird one. You're a gamer. Funny, you're wrong. Just had to do it. You say you don't like encumbrance, but you were a big fan of Monster Hunter World. I never felt encumbrance in that game because your inventory was so big.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe you like to hoard things, but I would always go sell stuff because I wanted the money. But I never felt compelled to sell things because I ran out of inventory space. But I digress.
We're done. These are the rest. We don't need these. None of these are needed because it's all people arguing about broken games now in 3.0s.
Yeah, yes. I don't know if this is a you're wrong, but several of you wrote in and were like 2K published Alien Colonial Marines. I know that they did. That game wasn't a 3 though; it was like a 5, wasn't it?
I don't know. I mean, they published. Crazy Dude says they published WWE on Switch. That's a 35 on Metacritic.
Is it just the Switch game though?
Yeah, just the Switch version. Still published it.
True.
They got you dead rights on that one, didn't
they? But
if
WWE was a higher scored game on another platform, maybe their instincts were, hey, this will be fine on Switch, and then they didn't put enough money into the port like nobody does.
Yeah, that's true. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show. kindoffunny.com/KFGD. You can watch it live, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. You can watch it later, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. You can listen on podcast services around the globe. Tomorrow it's Gary Witta. It's Witta Wednesday. Christmas sweaters beyond. Thursday it's Tim. Friday it's Jared. I'm on all of those, and then we're on break until the 4th. Andrea, you are relieved of duty until the 4th, I guess. You're coming through right on the 4th?
Greg, we have a whole thing planned.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. Yes, to answer your question, I will be here for Kind of Funny Day. I wouldn't miss it.
Good.
It'll be the start of my 3rd calendar year as part of the Kind of Funny family.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I know. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.